Good evening everybody and welcome again for a next video blog. And today might be a quite interesting one, especially for people who often have to speech or just yeah, prepare a word in public. Now the speech will be about how to actually make a speech in just 2 hours. So how to make a qualitative speech in 2 hours. And I'll give you some tips and tricks on how to do that and how to make the best out of it and how you can prepare a speech in 2 hours. Now, very often when you have to give a speech, either you postpone it because you have a lot of other stuff to do or you don't really feel like preparing it, or you really want to do it but you only have 2 hours. So that's why I would like to give you some tips on how to make a good speech in 2 hours. The first of all, and I also said it in a previous video blog, that I'm actually having like these notebooks where I write down a lot of ideas I have. Well, I have the same and I do the same for speeches because very often the thing that costs the most time is finding a good idea, is really thinking about, okay, what the hell will I talk about? So I would advise you, have your notebook, write down every time you think about something, write it down and build, let's say, a collection of ideas, maybe some jokes you can ever use in a speech, and anything that could be useful for you, write it down and have it all together. So when you're searching for an idea or for a joke, you just have to take your book and just go through the pages and see what you can use. Now, what are some of the things that I write down? And actually, I believe searching for speech ideas is a kind of an attitude in life. Just live your day, but constantly think about, okay, can I use what I'm doing now? Can I use this idea? Because I believe that the strongest the strongest ideas actually are the personal ideas, the stuff that happened in your life, maybe funny, maybe touching, that you can actually use and transfer to other people. So I get my ideas just from my work, my hobbies, my daily life, things that happened in my life, and I all write them down, and it gives me an overview of all possible topics I can talk about or stories I can use. A second thing that I use, so if you have your 2 hours, imagine that you have the idea, because finding a good idea in itself might already take a lot of time if you don't have anything to fall back on. So if you have your book, start just searching for a good idea and then start working on it. And I usually do that by using a mind map. So that's a small example. I write the topic here in the middle and then start with all different ideas that I have and things I can talk about. And for me, a mind map is very good because, first of all, it gives me a visual overview of what I want to talk about. It's easy to add and remove stuff, because if you have just a written text and you have to delete or copy and paste it somewhere else in the text, it's rather annoying. And with the mind map, it's way easier, it goes way faster, and you still have this visual overview, because in the end, when you're in front of the audience, you don't want to forget your topic. So if you have this visual overview, it really helps. And then once you have a draft outline, like, okay, these are the topics I want to talk about, this is my structure, and these are the main ideas, then really start to practice those ideas. And I really say practice the ideas, not the words. So if you practice your talk, just say it to yourself, okay, and in this way develop your talk. The best actually is, especially in the beginning, to not say it out loud, to do it silently and work on your ideas and not on the exact wording, because if you stop with the words and if you really think about the words, you will use a lot of time without actually developing your idea. Now, I already said, okay, practice it in silence. Why is that? Well, very simple. Because if you do practice it out loud, you will focus way more on the words itself. Yeah? So you will actually every time stop when you're not sure about the sentence or you don't know exactly how to move on. So better as a first step, do it in silence, and then later on when you're more comfortable, just go for the out loud version as, let's say, almost your general repetition, your last tryout. Another one, and a very important one, is not to stop in the middle of your talk or whenever you're a bit stuck. No, just continue, continue, continue. Don't fall over a word, let's say, but develop the whole speech, because otherwise what might happen is that your first part of your speech is very well developed, but you actually never got to that middle part or even the last part, which of course leads to an overdeveloped first part and an underdeveloped last part. So if you stumble, just don't stop, continue, for maybe just forget about that sentence, continue and keep on developing your speech until the end. And then when you finish your speech, just think about, okay, what were the good points, what were the bad points, and work on a certain topic. For example, after giving your speech once or twice or three times, you can focus, okay, now I will add some body language. And then after you did that, evaluate it, maybe do it again, then think, okay, how can I add some extra vocal variety? Huh? So do it step by step, and add the improvements gradually. And if you do all this, I'm sure that in a very short amount of time, you can actually develop a very good speech, even within 2 hours. I've given several speeches that were very good just by practicing 2 hours. So first of all, have your book with ideas in order not to waste a lot of time just on finding a good idea. Second of all, use mind mapping, because mind mapping gives this visual image, which can help you very much. Practice your thoughts and ideas, not really the exact wording, but the ideas, to make from draft ideas, to make them to shape the idea. Say your speech first in silence and then and only then out loud. Don't stop halfway, but really go to the end before you actually stop. And last of all, add your improvements gradually. So start by just practicing a few times and then add some more body language, some more vocal variety, maybe some humor, and so on. So those are the tips I would like to give to you. And well, next time maybe just try it out and prepare your speech in only 2 hours, and feel free to let me know how it went, either here on this YouTube channel or on my page on Facebook, which well, feel free to visit it. It's www.facebook.com/GovaertTim, so very easy to find. And just share your thoughts, even if you don't agree. Just feel free to share and discuss with me. Goodbye.